Hey, my name is Kenny Johnston. I'm a product leader here at GitLab. I wanted to give a quick overview of the direction for our product analytics stage. So today, the product analytics is a category that lives within the monitor stage, and it's presently assigned to the product intelligence group, which is part of our fulfillment section. My vision and where the vision for our product analytics category is headed is that GitLab will continue to define the most complete DevOps platform by including product analytics as on by default and is available as part of an integrated DevOps platform. We believe that this enables the kind of critical business feedback loop. So what do I mean by that? You can think of the current DevOps loop as completing in the monitor stage, but there's a whole nother set of capabilities that need to happen before you would get into planning again. And I consider this internal loop one that is focused primarily on shipping software quickly, things like the DORA 4 metrics, but there's an outer loop that I would call the more business feedback loop that is important for iterating quickly and being responsive to your customers and the market. So I consider us eventually adding a feedback stage that product analytics would just be one category of, but includes this whole set of capabilities that allow you to collect, analyze, gain insights from, and then use for prioritization purposes feedback from your users. You can think of things like A/B testing and service desk and other types of prioritization tools that would help enable this kind of closing of the full outer loop in a single DevOps platform. I believe that there won't be a complete DevOps platform without also completing this critical business feedback loop. So what are the challenges, opportunities, and objectives for GitLab when it comes to this category and the future feedback stage? First of all, some challenges. We've had limited investment in this category, so our current capabilities are minimal. We haven't had a great data store for housing this analytics data. The types of data, product analytic data that you're generating require high ingest and a set of analysis to be performed on top of it. Right now, our product analytics capabilities are backed by GitLab's Postgres data store, so relational database data store, and that is not going to be sufficient going forward. All the existing tools in this category, things like Pendo, Mixpanel, Segment, Heap, they all are integration heavy, which if you can think about it as great, is also a great opportunity, but that means that there isn't a common standard and they require a set of libraries both for server and client instrumentation sometimes, but also integration into other data stores and not just ingestion of data in to perform product analytics, but also ingestion out. So you can think about that. That will mean that they're investing heavily in building these kind of two-sided integration capabilities when an integrated solution wouldn't have to do that and could be much more viable. We also have within GitLab an immediate business need for a tool internally. We don't have a great capability here with the existing tool set, and we're presently investigating using a third-party tool instead of dogfooding, given how limited our current capabilities are. So opportunities. One thing that is very clear when you look at this market is that the existing tools struggle with developers. Most of these, they call them customer data platforms or product analytics tools, are built for marketing and product teams first and foremost, which means that before those marketing or product teams can even get started, they have to do the instrumentation and integration, which often struggles because the tools aren't built for developers as a kind of first priority. GitLab is well suited as a tool that is very focused on the developer persona and existing workflows to capitalize on that existing market pain point and build tools that are directly focused for developers. There's currently low market penetration for these tools. There are some large existing players, like I mentioned before, Mixpanel, Amplitude, Segment, Pendo, Heap, but the penetration is low. And the actual future market growth is all in front of this market. This isn't a well-saturated market where the existing players are well-defined. Many organizations would tell you that they have yet to do any sort of product analytics instrumentation in their application and consider that to be a next step in their DevOps journey. There is tons of benefit available from a single DevOps platform. I just mentioned some of the kind of strategic benefits of not having to do integration, but in an integrated platform, you could also include usage behavior when you're writing code, so you know kind of like what usage scale to build your application to. You could include business metric tracking more readily when you're doing feature flag rollout to see the direct impact of that feature flag or an A/B test on your business metrics. You can improve the value stream mapping because you will see exactly the outputs that happen as a result of code deploys. You can get consolidated feedback across things like issues, service desks, and usage to aid prioritization when you're doing the planning process. All of those are great benefits that having product analytics and the set of suite of feedback capabilities integrated into your DevOps platform enable. And the other opportunity is that there are existing open source tools that we can learn from. They've created a new kind of developer-focused open source product analytics platforms, one of which is PostHog, as I highlight here, and that they provide both insight into the market need and direction, as well as technical challenges that have come up as they've been growing their business. So what are the strategic objectives for us as we're considering next steps in this category? They seem very clear when you think about those challenges and opportunities. The first is to make sure we're targeting developers first. That also enables our dual flywheel approach to where developers are using this tool and then contributing back to it. We want to build for future adopters. We want to keep in mind that the market growth is all in front of us, and so we should make sure we're targeting a set of future adopters who have not yet started on their product analytics journey and are wanting to get something integrated from the start. We should build on ClickHouse. This is a lesson learned from those open source tools. One of the primary ones recently migrated from Postgres to ClickHouse, and there's a great blog post about all the reasons why and the kind of multi-orders of magnitude scale that such a technology enables. We should participate in open source tools and standards. There are not very many open source instrumentation libraries or integration libraries, but participating in those will allow us to not have to build all of those capabilities from scratch. And then we should make sure that we have a migration path. While we know that we are building or selecting a third-party tool in the moment for a business need, we should make sure that we are constantly keeping an eye on what migration path to GitLab's own native product analytics capabilities that we build in the future would be. So given those strategic objectives, what's the plan? We should make sure that we build our product analytics capabilities on top of ClickHouse going forward. There's other strategic reasons why GitLab will be investing in ClickHouse that will make this a lot easier. And then we should make sure that when we're reviewing the current third-party tools that we're selecting from, we're in the middle of doing POCs for one, and we'll be doing POCs for others, that we include these strategic objectives, which I would name as developer focus, whether they're future-proof, their support for ClickHouse, whether they can be contributed to, whether they're contributable, and whether we have a clear migration path on those platforms. So, and then next step is also to make sure that we're documenting and maintaining a kind of current migration plan for whatever tools are available. Once we have made a selection, that we always maintain, well, how are we going to migrate from this to our native product analytics capabilities when they're available? I documented a possible migration path in this presentation. Today, we send Snowplow and other events to Postgres, and our GitLab product analytics capability stands on top of that. We should move to having the product analytics capability stand on top of Postgres for some state storage things like defined funnels or other activities, but primarily leverage a data backend based on ClickHouse and send additional data stored to that. And if and when we select a third-party product analytics tool, we should have it point to our existing ClickHouse data store instead of replicating it in a different place. And then eventually, when we are no longer using that other product analytics store, we would have full GitLab product analytics utilized by our own internal teams on top of Postgres and ClickHouse. And ideally, we would be building that with using open source libraries for instrumentation, as well as custom, any open source, but any custom, but hopefully based on open source third-party data sources. So that's the vision. I look forward to any questions and comments. Thanks, everybody. Take care.